Chapter 18th and 19th. In the last two chapters, Hemant Pant described how a rich gentleman aspiring for quick Brahmagyan was treated by Baba. And now, in these two chapters, he describes how Hemant Pant himself was accepted and blessed by Baba, how Baba encouraged good thoughts and fructified them, and his teachings regarding self improvement, slander, and remuneration for labor. Preliminary. It is a well known fact that the Sadguru looks first to the qualification of his disciples and then gives them suitable instructions without unsettling their minds in the least, leads to them on towards the goal of self realization. In this respect, some say that what the Sadguru teaches or instructs should be divulged to others. They think that their instructions become useless if they are published. This view is not correct. The Sadguru is like a monsoon cloud. He pours down profusely, scatters widely his nectar like teachings. These we should enjoy and assimilate to our heart content, and then serve others with them without any reservation. This rule should apply not only to what he teaches in our waking state, but to the visions he gives us in our dreams. To quote an instance, Buddha Kaushik Rishi published his celebrated Ram Raksha Stotra, which he had seen in his dream. Like a loving mother forcing bitter but beneficial medicines down the throats of her children for the sake of their health, Sai Baba imparted spiritual instructions to his devotees. His method was not veiled, not secret, but quite open. The devotees who followed his instructions got their object. Sadgurus, like Sai Baba, open our intellect and show us the divine beauty of the self and fulfill our tender longings of devotion. When this is done, our desire for sense objects vanishes. Twin fruits of Vivek and Vairagya come to our hands and knowledge spouts up even in the sleep. All this we get when we came in contact with saints, serve them, and secure their love. The Lord, who fulfills the desires of his devotees, comes to our aid, removes our troubles and sufferings, and makes us happy. This progress or development is entirely due to the help of our Sadguru, who is regarded as the Lord himself. Therefore, we should always be after the Sadguru, hear his stories, fall at his feet, and serve him. Now, we came to our main story. Mr. Sathe. There was a gentleman named Mr. Sathe who had attained some publicity many years ago during Crawford regime, which was put down by Lord Ray, the governor of Mumbai. He suffered severe losses in trade. Other adverse circumstances gave him much trouble and made him sad and dejected. Being restless, he thought of leaving home and going out to a distant place. Man does not generally think of God, but when difficulties or calamities overtake them, he turns to him and prays for relief. If his demerits have come to an end, God arranges his meeting with a saint, who gives him proper directions regarding his welfare. Mr. Sathe had similar experience. His friends advised him to go to Shirdi, where so many people were flocking to get Sai Baba's darshan, for getting peace of mind and the satisfaction for their wants. He liked the idea and at once came to Shirdi in 1917. Seeing Baba's form, which was like eternal Brahma, self-luminous, peerless and pure, his mind lost his restlessness and became calm and composed. He thought that it was the accumulation of merits in his former births that brought him to the holy feet of Baba. He was a man of strong will. He at once started to make Parayan of Guru Charitra. When the reading was finished in the Saptah, Baba gave him a vision that night. It was to the effect Baba, with Guru Charitra in his hand, was explaining its content to Mr. Sathe, who was sitting in front and listening carefully. When he woke up, he remembered the dream and felt very happy. He thought that it was extremely kind of Baba, who a pagan soul like his, that are snoring in ignorance and makes them taste the nectar of Guru Charitra. Next day, he informed Kaka Sahib Dikshit of this vision and requested him to consult Sai Baba regarding its meaning or significance, whether one saptah's reading was sufficient or whether he should begin again. Kaka Sahib Dikshit, when got a suitable opportunity, asked Baba, Deva, what did you suggest Mr. Sathe by this vision? Whether he should stop or continue the saptah? He is a simple devotee, his desire should be fulfilled. Then Baba replied, he should make one more saptah of the book. If the work be studied carefully, the devotee will become pure and will be benefited. The Lord will be pleased and will rescue him from the bondage of the mundane existence. At this time, Hemant Pant was also present there. He was shampooing Baba's legs. When he heard Baba's word, he thought in his mind, what? Mr. Sathe read for a week only and got a reward, and I am reading it for 40 years with no result. His 7 days stay here becomes fruitful, while my 7 years stay goes for nothing. Like a chatak bird, I am ever waiting for the merciful cloud to pour its nectar on me and bless me with his instruction. No sooner did this thought cross his mind, Baba knew it then and there. It was the experience of the bhaktas that Baba understood all their thoughts and that he suppressed the evil thoughts and encouraged the good ones. Reading Hemant Pant's mind, Baba at once asked him to get up, go to Shama, get from him rupees 15 as dakshina, sit and chit-chat with him for a while, then return. As mercy dawned in Baba's mind, and so he issued this order. And who could disobey Baba's order? Hemant Pant immediately left the masjid and came to Shama's house. He had just bathed and was wearing a dhotar. He came out and asked Hemant Pant, how is it that you are here now? It seems that you have came from masjid. Why did you look restless and dejected? Why are you alone? Please sit and rest, while I shall do my worship and return. In the meanwhile you please take pan bida. Let us then have a pleasant chat. After saying this, he went inside and Hemant Pant sat alone in the veranda. He saw in the window a well-known Marathi book named Nath Bhagvat. This is a commentary by the saint Eknath on the 11th skanda of the bigger Sanskrit work, the Bhagvat. At the suggestion or recommendation of Sai Baba, Messrs. Bapu Sahib Jog and Kaka Sahib Dikshit read Bhagavad Gita daily with its Marathi commentary named Bhavarth Deepika or Dhyaneshwari and Nath Bhagvat, and also Eknath's other big work, viz. Bhavarth Ramayan. When devotees came to Baba and asked him certain questions, he sometimes answered them in part and asked them to go and listen to the readings of the above mentioned works, which are the main treatises of Bhagavad Dharma. When the devotees went and listened, they got fully and satisfactory replies to their questions. Hemant Pant also used to read daily some portions of Nath Bhagvat. That day, he did not complete the daily portion of his reading, had to left it unfinished in order to accompany certain devotees who were going to masjid. When he took up the book from Shama's window and casually opened it, he found to the surprise that the unfinished portion opened up. He thought that Baba sent him very kindly to Shama's house for enabling him to complete his daily reading. So, he went through the unfinished portion and completed it. As soon as this was over, Shama, after doing his worship, came out and the following conversation took place between them. Hemant Pant, I have come with a message from Baba. He has asked me to return with rupees 15 as dakshina from you, also to sit with you for a while and have a pleasant chit-chat and then return to the masjid with you. Shama with surprise, I have no money to give. Take my 15 namaskars in lieu of rupees as dakshina to Baba. Hemant Pant, all right, your namaskars are accepted. Now let us have chit-chat. Tell me some stories and leelas of Baba, which will destroy our sins. Shama, then sit here for a while. Wonderful is the spot of this god. You know it already. I am a village rustic, while you are an enlightened citizen. You have seen some more Leelas since your coming over here. How should I describe them before you? Well, take these leaves, betel nuts, and tuna, and have the pan bida, while I go in, dress myself, and come out. In a few minutes, Shama came out and sat talking with Hemat Pant. He said, Leela of this god is unscriptable. There is no end to his Leelas. Who can see them? He prays or spots with his Leelas. Still, he is beyond them. What do we rustics know? Why does not Baba himself tell stories? Why does he send learned men like you to fools like me? His ways are inconceivable. I can only say that they are not human. With this preface, Shama added, I now have a story which I shall relate to you. I know it personally. As a devotee is resolute and determined, so is Baba's immediate response. Sometimes Baba puts the devotees to severe test and then gives him Upadesh. As soon as Hemat Pant heard the word Upadesh, a flash of lightning crossed through the mind. He at once remembered the story of Mr. Sathe's Guru Charitra reading and thought that Baba might have sent him to Shama in order to give peace to his restless mind. However, he curbed this feeling and began to listen to Shama's story. They all showed how kind and affectionate Baba was to his devotees. Hemat Pant began to feel joy on hearing all these. Then Shama began to